Okay, we should be live. So I am Grant. This is going to be the second day of this little event I'm calling Dead Rising Days, where I'm just going to be playing through as many Dead Rising games as possible over the weekend, starting yesterday, going all the way into this Sunday, which is I think the 23rd of September, 2018. So what we have here is we have Dead Rising 2, Case 0. So if you've never heard of this game, because it only is out really on the 360, I'm technically playing it on the Xbox One through their backwards compatibility. This game came out before Dead Rising 2, and it acts as a paid demo. You did have to pay for this. I want to say it was like $5, and it's only 2 hours long, but in a way, that's kind of like saying Dead Rising 2 is only like 6 hours long, right? Like there's more to it than that. So what it does is it takes place, I believe, a couple years before Dead Rising 2. You'll notice that Katie, Chuck's daughter, is like way younger. It's when he's fleeing Las Vegas into just Nevada, so it's completely different timeline. It's like soon after Katie was like just bitten, and you play through a single day in this town called Still Creek. And it is kind of fun, actually. Its main thing is you could come in and play this game, and you could carry over your levels and your cash. Now, you're capped out. Like, I think you can only go to level 5, but it was something. It really doesn't matter in the grand scheme of things. You can get like level 5 like super quick. And as someone who plays a lot of Dead Rising, I never considered the leveling up a big deal. Like, in the grand scheme of things, like, it's a big deal when I sit down and do like one run of the game. But like getting level 50 is not a big deal to get in Dead Rising whatsoever. But this game is actually, it's pretty good. And one of the ones I really wanted to feature because, for example, if you're a PlayStation player or you play on PC, you don't have access to this game. It's going to be the same thing with Case West, which is another 360 only game that takes place after Dead Rising 2. And it just has a little bit more of the story. And actually, I think it's kind of more of a tragedy. Like, this game's neat, and ultimately, it doesn't really affect the story if you don't see it. It's very easy to just go kind of look it up and like, okay, cool. That's just kind of like, oh yeah, this happened in the past. It really doesn't affect anything. There's no event in this game that matters. It's more about talking about where Chuck came from, what his past is like. You'll see a lot of it, I guess, explanations of stuff that you might have heard of from Dead Rising 2, but isn't really explained in that game. But Dead Rising Case West, for example, has a lot of lead-in into Dead Rising 3. And I played it after Dead Rising 3, and I was like, wow, this is really interesting. Because if you look at Dead Rising 2, there's not that much lead-in into Dead Rising 3 or anything that happens besides two characters. Whereas you'll see a lot more with this. It also, Case West connects it a lot more with Dead Rising 1 in several ways, other than just being Frank West. So we're going to go ahead and get this started. It's going to take, I think, about 2 hours, and then we're going to follow up with Dead Rising 2. I don't think I've ever actually played this one on the Xbox One. I think I played it only on the original 360. All right. Get my coffee and get ready. I like how he just has his name plastered across there. So Chuck has this whole thing about like being a motocross star in the past, and it's something I feel like you just know, but this kind of gets it across more. I feel like it's something I heard about a lot before Dead Rising 2, but really doesn't come up that much. It just kind of makes sense. Also, look how ugly that watch looked. God. Because in like the main game, it's actually fully animated, I believe. Same with Frank. Is even when you have it down, it's fully animated. That's a good shot. I remember when I watched this, I really liked this opening cutscene. It's very well done to explain the Zombrex, the shoes bit, all this stuff. In this game, Zombrex only lasts for 12 hours.
Nobody likes shots, honey. But it's very important that you get this.
I know it's just an animation thing, but he like does it through her jacket and her shirt.
Won't have to take another one for a long time. A whole 12 hours. A whole 12 hours. Sorry, sweetie. Daddy's got a few more. Hello? Anybody here? Anybody here? Katie, stay right here. Hey! That's my truck! Stop! Son of a bitch! We're okay now, honey. They can't get in.
I love that intro. And honestly, I feel like I like the atmosphere of Dead Rising Haste Zero a little bit more than 2. I don't like how crazy 2 is because they're actually kind of in this Las Vegas substitute. But I like how just rural this one is.
Daddy loves you so much.
But where are you going?
I have to go get some more Zombrex and figure out how to get us out of here.
But no, Daddy, I don't even like Zombrex.
I know, honey. But it's very important. You need another one before bedtime. You stay here. I promise I'll be back as soon as I can.
You're not afraid of those bad people outside?
Nothing's gonna stop me from keeping you safe.
Awesome. Pretty sure I can go ahead and start making this out right away. So honestly, this is just basically plays exactly like Dead Rising 2. Uses the same engine, everything. It just takes place in an entirely different area. I don't think there's any unique combo weapons, and you can't even make every combo weapon in the game. But for the most part, if you can see it, you can make it. Like I said, it's actually kind of interesting. Is one thing I like about this is I like low-level Dead Rising. I feel like that just kind of plays better. And because of how this works with the demo, like I said, you can only take up to level 10 over, I think. Maybe level 5. So you can't... That's actually the max level in this game. So one thing I like is the game's always relevant. Like, you don't run into a situation like in Dead Rising 1 where you go fight, say, Food Court Carlito at level 50, and he's just a joke. It's like everything in this is still lethal. The zombies are always lethal. Whereas by the end of, like, Dead Rising 2, especially if you have, like, the night suit, it really isn't a big deal at all. Am I not supposed to go on the roof? There's a sniper rifle up here, I think. Yeah. This is one of the things where it's like, I get why it's here for gameplay reasons, but... And maybe some dude was, like, sniping up here for some reason, but I can't imagine that's... anyone just has, like, a sniper on the roof of a gas station normally. And it is actually kind of fun, is because you had all these weapons in the main game that you had access to, they will hide them all over Still Creek in, like, neat little ways. And it's not a big deal, but I feel like Dead Rising 2 doesn't have that as much, or when they do, it's really spread out. Whereas here, I feel like it's a lot... There's a lot more nuances where you can find it. Pretty sure. I thought that was the way out, by the way. Hold on, let me ditch my snacks for some orange juice. I thought I'd go on the roof. That seems like a very classic Dead Rising thing, but I guess not. I got through the junkyard. That would make sense. So I can make Molotovs. You can make the explosive propane canister that shoots nails. I think this might be the only save point in the game. Like, there's just a lot of neat things like that. That, in a way, almost make this a harder Dead Rising game than Dead Rising 2. Like, Dead Rising 2 is longer, and obviously it has, I think, higher highs. But there's a lot of things that I wish Dead Rising 2 did. Like, I like the idea of you only being able to save in the safe house. And this does it because it's so small. But it just seems like a neat idea to me. This is where the thumb art came from. I had to rip it from right here. Let's see if it syncs up. Oh, no, it already did. Damn it. I was really hoping it was like, hey, look, you can see it side by side. I have like a little bit of cold from like staying up last night and doing that stream. And hopefully this should go pretty fast. I will say when I get to mainly Dead Rising 2, I'm going to not do the cutscenes, I don't think. Or I might just do only the case file cutscenes. Just let me know. Because from playing Dead Rising 1, watching all the cutscenes adds a significant amount of time. It's really surprising. Also, this is a small town. Like, they have a population of 700. And there's just so many zombies. I did not mean to do that one. Alright, so I think the main thing we need is... gonna be what? The bowling alley or the pawn shop? I think there's a dude there. So what you're actually having to do, and we'll set this up in a minute, is you have to find bike parts. That's your main quest. Is finding these bike parts to fix a motorcycle you have so you can drive out of town. And then they also do this very interesting thing where you don't have a walkie-talkie to give you quests. Instead, you have a dude on a roof that you'll see in a little bit looking for his daughter. And he's fairly near the safe house, so you'll pass by him and he'll give you like rumors like, hey, I saw someone over there, go take him out. Or I saw someone over there, go save them. And that was actually just kind of awesome. I don't know, I liked having an actual human element. Like instead of just getting a call on a walkie-talkie. And even just, I love the idea of having like an actual NPC in the world that's neither a survivor nor a psychopath. You ultimately save him, but he won't like come with you until he finds his daughter on the last couple hours. I guess that would explain why there's so many people, right? They had like a camp up. I love the idea that someone gets that far and it's like, yeah, I'm gonna quit. And I just like love a little neat things they do in this game. Like they literally call it case 0 when you see on there. You're on case 0-1 because case 1 takes place, in the main game. All I will say, like, I get why they call them case files because that's what case files were in Dead Rising 1. Or story missions were case files. And that made sense with Frank and the whole reporter thing. Man, I am sucking. I'm hoping, though, this is better. Get me in get my skills back for Dead Rising 2 when I go to the main game. I'm so looking forward to that. Military case, do I want to get that wrench? Same.
Oh, thank God. I can fix this.
Trash recon. I feel like that's a joke somehow. Trash recon. I just want to be quiet because I haven't seen this in a long time. So I think if I call it's, what is it, 7 p.m. Because hold on. Well, that was fruitless. All right, so we got to get this back to the area. This is like the tutorial level, I guess, section of the game. I love pushing this thing. But I think what this game does so well is setting up... My mic's on, right? Tell me if my mic's off. I guarantee there's going to be some time I forget to turn it on. It does so well at setting up the atmosphere and the premise in just like 1 or 2 little cutscenes. Like, okay, you need Zombrex. You have a bike. They're coming at 2100 hours. Go. And I didn't think it was 21 hours. I thought this was a full, like, 2 days. But I do know it ends at night. And it goes pretty quickly. So this might not be a whole 2 hours long, just 1 hour. Which would make sense. There we go. But what I like about this game is it's so short and it's very, like, speed runny. Because they can make the experience, like, so tight. Whereas, like, in Dead Rising 2, I feel like you need more leeway to, like, let people just escort survivors. See, that the time on the watch is wrong. It says it's 4:35 a.m. because it's just a static model. Which seems weird because this should always take place kind of at a reasonable time. Katie has the best performance in this game.
Hold on. Everything's gonna be just fine. Daddy's gotta go get a few things. I can't give it to you too early, honey. It's dangerous. You'll get too much.
She's so well spoken. For I think she's just like 6.
Daddy can fix anything.
I'm like trying to slowly save up like little images to make just some like dumb image macros to post to the subreddit after this. That might be one of them right there. I think what I might do is I'd really like to track down some of the Dead Rising movies because there's 2 of them. I think there's Dead Rising Watchtower and another one. I think. How many times have I done that? Just like jump midair. But I hear they're cheesy, but I don't know. It'd be interesting to just for how much like investment I have in the series, just to actually go and do that. Oh, I'm going the wrong way again. I'm wasting so much time because time is like super tight in this. Like it's not ridiculously so if you just want to find your bike parts, but if you want to save anyone at all and do it, it's tough. And I'm going to try doing this from memory. I don't have the wiki open for this. Because usually the way it works is you can kind of just play it once and you figure it out. And then you play it the second time and you can do it perfect. Because there's a guy you can get clues from in the pawn shop. And he will tell you, like, there's something over here. But that costs money you have to earn. Or you can just know where they are. But some of them are tied to scoops in, like, dumb ways. Like, one guy you have to say is using, like, the bike handle. Oh, this is... I love this because they reuse this cutscene in Dead Rising 2. It's the same exact animation with different zombies. Like, I think I did a side-by-side of this in my playthrough of 2 or something. But if you just look, they're all in the exact same places and it's all timed exactly the same. I mean, it makes sense. It doesn't bug me. It just seems silly. Although I like the fact that it's a known thing. That blood's not a thing. Not in the Dead Rising 2. I think it's a known thing, though. It's like, oh, hey, you can crush the queens and it'll kill the zombies. Which I still don't get how that works. I don't know if is that a... How that would work. Are they, like, telepathic and that kills it? Is it, like, a pheromone thing? I don't get it. It's a cool premise, though. Like, I'm really glad Dead Rising ended up doing something like that with the zombies instead of just, oh, it's a actual infection. I remember laughing when I first saw this guy's name because I thought, like, I know his name is Dick, but I like the idea that they just use that to describe him. Like, you walk up and, like, someone's just has, like, the name, like, asshole or, like, nice guy. All right, come on. Gotta go fast. I always assume that there's a bunch of references in Dead Rising that I just don't get. Like, not this one, but I always assume, like, there's survivors that are meant to be a certain real-life person. And I always assume I just don't get that. Like, it just goes over my head. Alright, so he's going to run. We'll go follow him. For the most part, I'm just going to be continuing the story. Because until I get that guy that gives me directions, there's not much I can do. Like, there are things you can do in the main game. Like, there's keys you can collect to unlock stuff. That gives you access to, like, very simple upgrades. Like, I think the only shotgun... What was that? No. Oh, he's going to sell me the wheel. Steel Creek Hotel. Okay, and I need to buy the wheel. 5,000. I can go back to that. I know where it is. God, I have like a cold. So let me actually get there. Also, can I just say how much I love the fact they actually write the names on here? So, Movie Creek, the store. I want to say, yeah, it's right there. Oh, it gave me an icon. Okay. So, we're just going to go around collecting money, collecting bike parts. What I like about this is you really can just kind of memorize the whole town after doing it for only a little bit of time. Plus, like I said, since it's such a low-level thing... Ooh, that's right, I have to go around. Things in the game matter more, if that makes sense. I gotta take this, yeah. So, like, it's a big deal that when you get access to, like, the only shotgun in the game, it's like a cool upgrade. Or finding the sniper rifle is a big deal. Whereas the thing about, like, in Dead Rising 1, like, it's not that big of a deal when you find new stuff. Because, like, there's just other places to do it. Oh, I don't have a jump kick. Doing this for a reason. I remember this is a big thing I had to do in my first playthrough of this is you need to collect money, and there's only a couple places you can do that. I always felt that zombies should drop money. Like, not much, but like if they drop like $10, so you could just kind of grind them, that seems like it'd be a little bit more fitting. These zombies are so passive after coming out of Dead Rising 1. God, Dead Rising 1, I had so much trouble with Cletus last night. I'm pretty sure I'm supposed to be able to make this jump. And that's how I get... There we go. Also, I just like how dense some of this stuff is. Like, I feel like Dead Rising 1 and Dead Rising 2, they're all just... Like, they're all good. But I feel like they opt to be bigger and have, like, more buildings. But you really can't go through buildings as much. Whereas this, like, for the most part, like, you can get, like, in everywhere if you attempt it. For the most part. Well, that's just... I mean, am I not supposed to go that way? I'm pretty sure. Yeah, look, you can, like, follow the path. I'm pretty sure there's something up there. I generally remember what's in this game. Generally. So I may be wrong. Ooh, the queen. I'd like that. I don't have inventory, though. I think the level ups are set, by the way. Like, I know you have your level carries over. It won't in this game. Sorry. It won't in this iteration. You can't carry it over from basically the 360 version to the Dead Rising 2 remaster. You can only do it from Xbox 360 to Xbox 360. But I wonder then how they handle certain other things. There we go. Let's go talk to Bob. He's the main guy we need. Bob Blackrock.
Hello. Hello.
All right. So I still need to get over there to get my part, but then I'm also going to escort. Guys, the issue is I think I'll probably have to take the bike park back first, because if I recall, the bike part, you have to actually physically hold. You can't, it's like a heavy weapon. Oh, it's a sword. Is that it? I thought so. I think what he's directing me towards is there's a key up here somewhere. It's actually kind of calming, just like this like early morning view of the game. Pick. The gunshots you hear, by the way, is Bob. Can I get back up? Oh, am I already here? Bob's over there. This is a store I have to come later, so this will save me some time. I can go ahead and unlock this. I am dying. I almost died there. Okay. Oh, here's some shotguns. Perfect. Okay, so I guess let me go get them and I'll reconvene about that. What was it? It's not the bike handle, it's like the transmission or something. So his thing is, if I call he's drunk, so you have to escort him. Which I think is an introduction to like the drunk mechanic from Dead Rising 2. It's a thing. And I think I have to hold his hand, that's why I can't get this. Or he wants... Oh, he just wants more booze. Grab a chair. I always felt like the Dead Rising 2 survivors just look so twitchy. Like, look how she looks. It's just like... I get that they're concerned. But I don't know, they just look so crazy. I can't. I love the person. Oh, do I need to talk to her? Oh, no, she's kind of calm. Probably best not to give the drunk man a shotgun. And this is Dead Rising 2, so you really can just pretty much let your survivors do whatever the hell they want. I'll say the Dead Rising 1 shotgun, much stronger than the Dead Rising 2 version, but man, the Dead Rising 1 just has so much better like kick to it. Like I feel like a lot of times, like sometimes the best way to score a survivor in Dead Rising 2 is probably just like with the sniper rifle. Tell them like go all the way over there, or run there yourself, put the breakpoint, and then turn around and like snipe anyone that snipe anyone zombie that got caught. I should say, not don't snipe them. That's not the intention. So if you're just joining, this is Dead Rising 2 K0. You can tell that by on my left, this way. I unmirrored my camera, so if I hold text up, it's not flipped. But now I have it wrong. And normally I like to be like over on the right, so I can point to the thing on the right in the screen. That doesn't work anymore. I think they give me cash. Perfect. That's what I really need. I honestly, if I had to have like a Dead Rising game, like an ideal atmosphere, I really like how Dead Rising K0 works. Really, I guess now that I think about it, it's only 2 that has an atmosphere I don't like as much because I don't like the whole Vegas theme. Again, that much. Like Dead Rising 3 also really kind of works for me, where it's just like it's a town. But it's not necessarily as campy as Dead Rising 1. I don't know if that's the right term. But like Dead Rising 1 super like, ooh, there's mystery and a conspiracy, whereas this is just like there's zombies. I don't know, it's simpler. Okay. I'm eyeing him because if he has a quest, he'll flag you down. But sometimes I believe he'll be stuck in the shooting animation, so I was just kind of keeping an eye on that. Till then, I need food. Interesting. Let's go around and so I can break that. You'll see me getting this a lot because I need cash. So it may look like I have a lot, but I think... Oh, is there another save point here? Cool. I'll save. But for the most part, I do need cash. It looks like I have a lot, but I have to potentially buy more clues from Dick, the pawn shop owner. And it's better to just grab it now. That looks like Zombrex. I'm pretty sure it's a thing to find Zombrex, because you give it to her every 12 hours. So I think you need to find one, at least. Yeah, I go over there. Key to the shed on top of the hotel. I must have just missed it when I was up there. It wasn't a waste of time, though, because unlocking that is a big deal. And I think I might have to drop down. Maybe I did what I did wrong is I think maybe I do have to go into one of the rooms. Like I go out, around, and then down and into another room again. Like a room that's locked off. Come on, Chuck. I know I just did this, and I know it is a thing. God, after playing so much Dead Rising 1, I thought I heard the little ringer from the walkie-talkie. It can be weird when you play a game where like sound's so dependent. Oh, it's just in here. So necessary? Okay, you can just chill, dude. How you'll begin to like hear that? Like I remember when I was doing a ton of Left 4 Dead. And if you ever played Left 4 Dead, you know that there's an achievement for doing it all on the highest difficulty. And that's not very easy. But in particular, you need like 3 other people to do it in any reasonable fashion. Fall damage. And it's very dependent on sounds. And what's nice about Left 4 Dead is you can actually turn on closed captionings. So it will just describe you. It'll say like, this is the tank noise. Very helpful. But you still listen for them. Because you have different ranges. Like closed captioned you can hear it from further away than the closed caption would occur. But all the time, I know when I was doing that, I would just hear like one random little sound, like smoker, boomer. Also, one thing that's kind of always neat, speaking of Dead Rising, is, oh, I love this. So this is just them being cute and like reusing assets in a neat way. I love this. It feels very Borderlands 2, because if you ever played that game, they do that all the time, where they'll just make a sculpture out of some like pre-existing asset they had. Can I get up there? I've never been up here. Huh. Not that there's anything worthwhile whatsoever. I'm probably hurting myself because, ooh, that was close. Bike forks. But in Dead Rising 1, right, you have the zombie genocide achievement for killing 53,545 zombies. That's a thing. And in Left 4 Dead, they have a reference to that called Zombie Genocider, where it's like just 53,546 zombies you have to kill, which is actually was a really fun achievement, kind of like with Dead Rising 1, where it was almost like a perfect amount where you definitely did have to grind it. And in Dead Rising 1 case, it was actually kind of fun because you could just like sit down, put on a podcast. It was very methodical, just like simply just driving around every like 10 minutes, get out, get a new car, something like that. It was kind of nice. And it was the same thing in Left 4 Dead, where like I just really liked the game, so I just kept playing the game. I didn't try to grind it. I was just like, I'm just going to play the game a bunch. And then I think there was another one. There's a third game that did that. I want to say it was like Prototype 2. I think had that achievement, and it was like Zombie Genocide Est, and no one ever recalls that one because it's just like someone else who was like trying to come in on the joke. And I don't know, I thought I get it. It was cute. It's kind of funny. Like if you were like really into Prototype and Dead Rising, it'd be cool. But it always gave me this impression where it's like someone else trying to get on an inside joke even though they don't know it. But you can see how like important time is, just because Chuck is slow, and this is basically I think the fastest he's going to get, because I don't know if you get a speed boost between level 1 and level 5. There we go. I need to put it on the car. Not the car. This isn't the car. Or it's like awkward because I have to physically carry all of these back and forth. Let me heal up and restock here. But yeah, there's a lot of things about Case Zero that I actually really like. Like, I think Katie is so much better portrayed in this. Like, there's nothing wrong with what she is in Dead Rising 2. But I just feel like in Dead Rising 2, you like never really talk to her. She's more of a plot device than a character. Whereas in this, like, she has some awesome lines. Like that opening cutscene, or section of cutscenes. That's actually like, oh, like really, there's a term for it. Like dramatic, cute, but sad at the same time. I really like it. And something like, I think with Dead Rising 0, Case Zero, and Case West has more of the important story. But it's actually Case Zero that has the best acting. I'm trying to keep an eye out for things I can make. But yeah, I just really loved this section because it felt like it was so small that they could really just iterate and get like a perfect version of it. Whereas it's just not as easy to do that over the entirety of Dead Rising 2, because I feel like you're just in there so much longer. Oh, I went. Hey, it's the bowling alley. Amazingly, there's no achievement for actually bowling a strike. I thought for sure that would have to exist. Did I go past the pawn shop? Goddamn. But like just simple things like how they would hide stuff around Still Creek, because you're meant to kind of figure that out and then be able to get like, yeah, you can get a sniper rifle anytime you want. I'll probably need the Zombrex. Although I think there's one mission that will give it to you. And there might be another one hidden in the world somewhere. Wheel. Come on. There we go. Oh, yep. I can't put it away. So I pretty much have to take this straight back. And hopefully he's going to wave me down. He works based on time as well, so I'm just going to have to do stuff. until he decides to be like, hey, I've got a mission for you. But like, yeah, simple stuff like hiding. I feel like in Dead Rising 2, they can't have it hidden very close to the safe house because they don't want to like give you really good weapons that you can grab at any point. Like they are there, but they have to be farther. Like if you know the hidden sniper rifle in Dynamite in what was it, Royal Flush Plaza in Dead Rising 2, like that's I think the equivalent of this. But look how far away that is. Like it's better. Like you can get like steak, you get a sniper, you get dynamite for the like the Blambo. I should make a Blambo. I think I can make that in this. I definitely have a bow and arrow. I assume I have dynamite. Oh, I got turned around here. But yeah, and there's a couple exceptions to that. So one thing they do try to do in Dead Rising 2 though is they update what's in the safe house, and I feel like that's something I never really took the time to look at, like what you can make in the safe house, or particularly what shows up when. Like for example, I know one thing that a lot of people miss is I want to say Day 3 of Dead Rising 2. There's a chainsaw that begins spawning inside the safe house right next to the vent that you leave from. Like that's a thing. And it's very good because you can take that and make a lot of stuff with it right away. It's like one of the things where I think you can save your the oars, the giant oars for like a kayak in your inventory, but you can't do that for a chainsaw, which kind of sucks. So you never get to make the power saw, but you can grab those anytime you see them, and then after day 3, you can just make it in the safe house, and that actually lets you use that weapon a lot, which is great because it's a good weapon. That's not how saw blades work at all. I remember when I came back and I played Off the Record for the first time. I'll probably have to go find a clue from that guy. So let me go to that shop again, that restaurant, and get some cash. But when I played Off the Record for the first time, it was weird seeing what is basically Dead Rising 2, but these weird updates. Like I remember how much I used the Blambo, which is a dynamite strapped to a bow and arrow. I use that all the time. And then in Dead Rising, Off the Record, I don't know what happened to it, but it's like heavily nerfed where it just doesn't hurt them. And maybe it was like a remaster issue or something where it just wasn't working. But I remember like I'd fire it and it would kill like 4 zombies. Whereas or like it wouldn't even knock them over, much less kill them. In Dead Rising 2 proper, like it does some serious damage. Oh, there is Queen. I feel like there should be a line somewhere about why Chuck has so many jars for queens, or Frank, for that matter. Just something simple, like be like, oh, Katie's really into collecting bugs or something, so he always keeps them on him so she can do that. Like that seems like it'd be a really nice, simple throwaway line that explains why he can just produce an infinite amount of jars. Or I always just assumed that, I guess if you were going to explain why he has infinite jars, you'd have to explain how he can hold, 12 sniper rifles by the end of the game? Yeah, give me it. Behind the theater. In theory, if I remembered where these were, you don't actually have to pay him at all. But he's fairly cheap. Behind the movie theater. He did say behind the movie theater, right? Am I... Because I want to say there's 2. You buy 1 from him. There's 2 from a quest. Or there's 2 lying around. And the other 2 are from, like, quests. Scoops. Oh, was that not the movie theater? What was I thinking of? Is that the restaurant? Why do I keep breaking through the windows? Surely the restaurant has a door. Such like a pitiful little movie theater. Alright, I think there's a way out. Although, really, if I knew what I was doing, I could have just come back here directly. Like, I know they send you that way. Oh, I must have been thinking of the bowling alley. I know they send you that way in order to get you to unlock that door, because there's an achievement for unlocking all the doors, and that's kind of one of the things you can do in the downtime of this game. And that's one thing I like, is there's a lot of stuff to do in the downtime that still progresses you. Whereas I hate in, like, Dead Rising 1, there's not that much. Like, there are some things. What did he just shout? I think I need to go talk to him. We'll see. I can't recall, though. I can't recall if I need to... If I can just pass by him and he'll yell at me what I need to do, or if I need to actually go up and talk to him. But normally he'll, like, wave if he sees something. But yeah, in Dead Rising 1, you just would hit these gaps where there's just like nothing really good to do, and you have to let the game just kind of play itself to have time progress. I know I would just like leave it on. Like sometimes I'd make a video, and it's like, oh, I need to reference something on day 3, and there's no way to quickly advance to it, and there's nothing in game really worth doing. Or even like last night when I was playing Dead Rising 1, I kind of got to that level where I don't need to go do anything. I did all the little side stuff I need to do. So now it's just waiting for the next scoop. And then I'm going to be super hectic because I'll have all these scoops active at once. And I don't want that to be true, but I don't really have the ability to do anything about it. But in this one, it's kind of nice where you can go do little things like, oh, I have the time now to go get some good weapons in some obscure places. Or I have time now where I can go unlock some more doors so that when I am rushed, I can just quickly grab a new shotgun or something like that. Or just the fact that you can just always go get cash and you can like save up time that way is great. I don't know how I feel about saving up cash between run-throughs, because I feel like if you really wanted to have a perfect run of Dead Rising 2, the easiest way would be to just have near max cash, because then you can buy 4 Zombrexes as soon as possible and grab some free ones too, probably, and then just easy weapons, and it's like, eh. I will say, though, also, I feel like the pawn shop system in Dead Rising 2, okay, he doesn't have anything, was underused. Like, I never buy anything from the pawn shop other than Zombrex. And even then, you really don't need to. I just do it because I'm lazy more than anything. Alright, so I think I just need to wait right now until more stuff comes in. I'm going to go up and I'm going to talk to that guy, though, on the off chance that he does have something. Because there should be something coming in at 1 p.m., I think. But yeah, I still think one thing I would love to have more Dead Risings have is the ability to just wait. They kind of have it in Off the Record, and I think it's in 2, although I've never tried it. But you can go to the movie theater and watch... Ooh, I just made it. You can watch a movie, and it will just like pass 2 hours of time. I believe you can only do it at certain times of the day, and that's why I've never done it before. It's not as simple as just going and checking that. I might be doing really well, because I know where the last one is. It's part of a scoop with some guys over there. So I think I'm just waiting for the next thing from that guy. And I think I can stand next to him and he'll call me, unlike every other one. I love this little setup he's got going, though. Like, he's been here for a while. His daughter's one of the last ones you do, by the way. So I know there's the one with his daughter, and that you go in that shop right there. So that's why it saves me some time to unlock it right now. Then there's one in the bowling alley that's going to come up. I need to go level up, probably. There is one psycho fight in this. And again, because you can't really level up that much, he's actually kind of difficult. So what I'd like to do is maybe just kill some zombies and level up. Let me explore. I'm trying to think if there's... Does Uncle Bill own both stores? Is that what that's saying? The dirty drink. Hold on, I want to see this. I guess I can't see it from there, but on the roof. Wasn't this Uncle Bill's? And then he was in there, but then there's also Uncle Bill's department store. I like the idea that it's like this small town and Uncle Bill just owns everything. Also, I love the jets going over. I don't know if they're actually hourly or something. Building. I didn't actually know there were magazines in this one. Oh, it's this. Probably not the first time someone threw whiskey at those. I think, though, one of the things that kind of sucks is the only maintenance, was it desk or whatever, workbench, is back at the gas station. Give me something I can actually hit with. So they have all this stuff that's like really great to work with, but you have to take it all back to that station. And that's a little annoying. Come on. I just need like a sledgehammer. Of all the things to include, why would you include this? I feel like this must have like a story, like the donkey lamps. Like, why did they bother making these things? Because they're all over Dead Rising 2. It's just like a thing. Like, I wonder if there is like a reason. And I say that because like I know in Dead Rising 1, I believe it's a thing where they would actually went and toured a bunch of American malls. And a lot of stuff you see were actual things they directly copied. Like, oh, let's say the directory you see in basically every mall ever. Oh, I could have just taken this. Oh, can I get spray paint? But yeah, the directory you see in every mall ever, they see that, and they all kind of look the same, so they just made one of those. Or they would copy, I think, people they actually saw around. So that's why I say I wonder if it's not like they did research for this game or something, and there is some vendor on the street somewhere that just sold all these very specific donkey lamps. I don't know. Or does the donkey have like a thing? No, because this is made by what? Like that Blue Castle games or something? I can see their logo, but I don't actually know their name off the top of my head. Oh, that's right. I can't take this. Man, that's a way easier. It's even just like that. I love when you would find like little like shortcuts in Dead Rising 1 or 2 and how they are so important. I'm not sure what to do. Because I got that. I feel like I should have gotten a scoop by now. The ones you can find lying around, you can get tips for. So I don't think there's anything. Oh, it's the casino. That's what this thing was. So I'm just going to get some cash. Casino chips. I will say one thing that Dead Rising 2 does is like there's so much more junk items in this game than there are in Dead Rising 1. Like Dead Rising 2, I feel, is just full of things like playing cards. Like you can't kill anything with playing cards, can't make anything with it. They're just kind of a side thing. Whereas in Dead Rising 1, you had those things, but they also had like a purpose. Like I think about like the gems in Dead Rising 1. They weren't necessarily good zombie killing weapons, but you could throw them and they would make zombies trip. And they kind of had like a shotgun effect, where even though you weren't killing, you were knocking them over, which is basically just as good in this game. But a lot of the weapons of this, you'll have just like are duds, honestly. Oh, did I break it through there? Oh, that's cool. Like playing cards, like it kind of knocks them back, but not enough where it really matters. But which is too bad because like they're also all over, and I get that's mainly though more so it can be like you can get anything, and I don't think it's worthless. Like I don't want to say that because honestly, like if you have literally nothing, it's better to throw cards at a zombie than to actually go up and like whack it with your fist. So I'm gonna go over here. I think we can get inside like this sheriff's office somehow. I think I have to drop in because it's locked, if I recall. But I can get behind there. Nope. Oh yeah, I just think this is kind of interesting. So you can try to leave town. I'll just go ahead and do that. Although I've never looked at scenery. You can probably, in this theory, see like Las Vegas, right? Something like that. I think it doesn't end it. I was scared for a second that was going to be an actual like ending you can get. It's just like leaving her. But I love when you cut to that cutscene because it's like he's like, yeah, I'm just going to jog away. And it's like, he's like, no, I can't do it. But it was kind of odd when I first did it because I was just curious to see what would happen. Or like, is it just an invisible wall or something? Or is it a different, I don't know, area? And then it makes it feel like the game was accusing me of like, you wanted to leave her. It's like, no, I just was curious what was over there. So I'm checking at the pawn shop again. Trying to think if there's anything. I could level up. And what's kind of nice is since you're such a low level, small sources of PP is actually incredibly helpful. So it's worth it to go make like the various combo weapons and just go kill zombies with it. Whereas I feel like even though you do get PP from that, it's really not a big source of that. You know, it's like, what? Oh, cool, I get 100 PP per like really long kill animation with this one thing. Or I can just go get 10,000 from saving a survivor. Is there anything in here? Shampoo. Man, I can relate to so hard with these doors in Dead Rising 2. Like, Dead Rising 2 has such specific doors. Like, they all have this exact door. And I feel like that doesn't make sense in this setting. Come on. I forgot how, like, just kind of relaxing and chill Case Zero was. I think the thing was, I remember I wanted to do a run of this where I got everything in one go, and that includes stuff like killing 1,000 zombies. And that's not the easiest feat. It's not particularly hard. Like, but I think you have to like go get that bin that you push the bicycle back in, and then just drive that up and down. Because you don't really have a car or anything where you can just like hit a wide array of zombies. It's not the same thing. Because I want to say, I think I have like 2 videos of this on my channel. I don't have much. I don't even think I finished it or edited them. Because it just didn't work out. And I always meant to go back and actually make this. Just so I could say I have everything. Well, everything but the Dead Rising mobile games. Do you really have nothing? Nothing. I guess I just remember that there being more to do, and maybe I've gotten better at this game since I played it. This is cool if it's like screenshot right there. Just chilling in a cowboy hat. Zombies piling up around me. Don't be a dick, man. Was that not a queen? God. One of the things you definitely like develop as a skill is being able to like pick out queen zombies from the crowd. Like, it's something that I feel like was so hard when I first started, and now when I play Dead Rising 1 or 2, that animation is just like so iconic and specific. It's like, yeah, of course it's easy. Those are the same advertisements from Dead Rising 1. That's pretty cool. Night of Nights. I always thought it was kind of cool though if you had a game like this, how in a weird way you're like building up this little universe, and it never really matters. I'm just gonna assume those are real developers or something. If you rob, you will sob. If you steal, you will. That's more threatening. But yeah, I like the idea that you're coming up with like these different brands, and every game they kind of like extrapolate more and more. That's what I wanted. Yes, the steel shelving. Get wrecked, dude. So like little things like I ran into, was it Hamburger Fiefdom in Dead Rising 1, which is just like this dumpy little restaurant that doesn't even look like it's for burgers. I thought there was a magazine in here too, or something. Was there a safe like I could unlock? Bricks. I thought there was something else hidden in here you needed. Like a safe, or I don't know, maybe someone you'd save. Or an outfit. I should be able to actually hear when Bob over there has stuff, so I should know when I go. I don't know what the signal for there being new clues in the pawn shop, but I should try to not die. Man, fall damage really hurts you when you're level 1. So let me go up. I need to kill this guy. There we go. You know, I'm actually kind of surprised. You never see in Dead Rising, like, the zombies never fake being dead. Like, that's not something they really do. Which I'm actually kind of thankful for. I don't like that in games. I feel like once you introduce that, it's just kind of dumb. And I think most games don't have the self-control to use it sparingly like you should. Like I remember in Dead Space, which I love Dead Space, but they had that where they would have enemies that just like faked being dead. But I'm pretty sure... Okay, just chilling here. I'm pretty sure every single time you saw a already dead enemy, quote unquote, it was alive. And since every single one was, you just knew to expect it, and you would just deal with it. And that ruined it for me. Like, if it's like 1 in 20 times, it's a cool gotcha moment. But if it's every time, not so much. I'm almost concerned that now that I must be missing something. Because what, they come at like midnight? I should be getting more... quests. Scoops. Or was I just really that quick? Like, I think they expect you to kind of wander a little bit more. And I don't think that there's a hidden scoop. But I think they just expect you to wander around, like, take a while to figure out where the theater is and all that. It really is too bad that this wasn't included with more of Dead Rising 2. For like the PS3 and stuff, or the PC, because I feel like this would actually be an amazing demo, especially if you like shorten it down a little bit. Come on. Like, I think it introduces Dead Rising very well. Like, it's actually a thing where I feel like I enjoy games the most when I already have a mastery of the mechanics. Like, that's why I think DLC can work so well, is because you know the game really well. So you can sit down and really consume the new stuff and understand it. Whereas I think sometimes when I sit down and play like an entirely new game, it feels like I'm too busy like trying to take in the controls and stuff. That was really violent. That I don't necessarily take in the early game story or like really understand the world. Nothing yet? I'm going to go zone out by going back to the gas station and coming back in and seeing if that will help. Because I don't think you need to do that. I'm pretty sure one of the reasons they did the way that they did was so that you don't have that issue. You don't have to like, oh, need to get someone to spawn, so I need to go out and in. I think I can talk to these guys, right? That's cool. A little mini quest. I don't think I did that before. So I'm supposed to bring her the gems. I knew it was a thing that you could kind of talk to the people you save, which I always thought was kind of dumb that you can't in Dead Rising 2, like, or in 1. You can like go up to them and they'll do that little motion like thanks, but it's obviously like it's not a real conversation. I always liked in Dead Rising 1 though how the AI had its own little language about it. No, I guess now that I have something to do, you're going to flag me down. Yep, there he is. Maybe I did have to do that. I believe on the wiki there is a listing of all the stuff you can do in this if you wanted one. But like in Dead Rising 1, they have animations to convey certain things like I like this, I don't like this. It's like you give them a gun, they'll be like thank you. Or if you shove into them, they'll be like don't do that. But then they'll just play those in different situations to kind of tell you stuff. It's interesting. Department store. See, this is the one I was thinking of, that he has the handles on the bike. God, I move so slow. And they're just like behind here, fighting it off. But oh, wait, no. I remember this guy. He's got a thing, and this is why it's important to unlock this when you have time, is he wants a broadsword, because he wants like a better weapon. And I think the only real place to get that is right here. Or you can get one on that one rooftop, but this is so much easier. Strong beer. It's a to-the-point advertisement. Oh, cool. Save point. They have more than I thought. And it is important that I save. The psycho fight at the end is actually kind of hard. And because it takes place basically at the gas station, you kind of can't get back there to set it up. So I do want to make sure I save in case I end up in a situation that's not very good. I like how they're kind of like fanboys. Like, because he's supposed to be like somewhat famous, right? Here you go. But it would just be so crazy, you know, like you're fighting the zombie apocalypse and like just a celebrity comes out. Now I'm a Viking warrior. All right. There we go. Arch 2. I'm sure an actual store like this exists, but it just seems weird to me, like, who would eat there, literally next to these, just, the auto parts maintenance aisle. Doesn't seem like a good restaurant layout at all. A lot of running back and forth in this game. Thank you, Archie. I do wish, like I said, I always wish that they would have crossovers with the characters between games in regards to side characters. And you're good. And especially with this, like, it seems like it would be perfect to do a call out to this game if one of the people you save in case 0 also ends up in Fortune City. And it seems like it wouldn't be that hard. Like, you could easily tell, like, a tale, like someone who's, like, I don't know, addicted to gambling. You save them in this, and that's why they were in Las Vegas, but they're addicted to gambling, so you run into them again in Fortune City. Also, that dude's face is totally ripped off of another model. I think one of the military guys from Dead Rising 2 at the end. I think they both might be. They might be that same character for all I know. Skill move acquired. Backdrop. I need to like fix my streaming setup. Give me a second here. If you go watch like a time lapse of me streaming yesterday, it's basically a very quick, or I should say long succession of me just slowly sinking into this couch. Like when I start off, I'm like, yeah, let's go do this. And I'm like all out of frame. And then I just slowly over the course of like 7 hours go down lower and lower and further. So I end up just like back here. And I moved it to the couch because I'm hoping tomorrow to have actually someone on as well. Because I can do the whole solo thing and I can just keep talking about whatever I want to talk about. I can do that. But I think it's way better with a co-host because then a lot of times, like when I'm talking to the audience, I'm actually talking to them. And I feel like it's easier to follow the conversation. It's easier to have someone who can actually focus on things. Because you'll see a lot of times I'll be talking about something and I'll pause for a second because something else comes up. And I'll never go back to the first thing I was talking about because I'm already managing two things at once, playing the game and also talking. And having a second person to help direct that flow, I think works out really well. So right now I'm going to go get those gems. I'm pretty sure this exists almost exclusively to waste your time. Oh, I was supposed to put away the handlebars. That's fine. I'm going to go back there anyway. So I need to get to the barricade, grab the gems, and then I'm going to use the cart to race back, because that's the only form of fast travel this game has. Road closed. Oh, that's cool. If you listen when I jump, the orange juice makes a sound effect. I don't know why. That's kind of cool. Like, that's a very specific detail to put in. So she said she left him at the road block. And I think you can actually take her any thing. I just think there's probably only like 2 instances of gems in this game, though. So you kind of have to get that one. Also, the handlebars, like that dude said, actually do make a great weapon because they cannot break. Because it is a story weapon. This is morbid. It's like the infirmary tent where I assume doing surgery. There's got some blood all over, some whiskey. I think they might actually be inside one of the cars. I don't think she specifically said. One thing I really do like that Dead Rising 2 does is all the just various boxes you can find, like cardboard boxes in the first game, but also like military cases and whatnot that you can then break to find something inside. And one, I like that because it means there's always like a random element, even though it does pull it from like a certain pool. It's nice that, you can find random items. Like you can go in like, hey, yeah, you got lucky, you found food this time. Or, hey, you got lucky and you found a pistol instead of just, I don't know, some useless weapon. Like, I like that. Or like the military cases. If you're really, if you want to be super efficient, you can do some stuff where it's like, what was it? There's something in Dead Rising 3 you can break. Where it's like you can get like a gift box and use that as a weapon. Contagious disease. And then when the gift box breaks, it can drop a purse, which you can then use the purse as a weapon, which can then break and then have something in it. Whether that's food, it can be a snack, I believe. A massager is the most common. Or there's something else. Scissors or something, I think. Where are these jewels? She just said at the roadblock, right? I thought it was going to be like in a pickup or something, or in one of the tents. Although I admit I probably didn't check all of them. This reminds me a lot of Left 4 Dead. Oh, there they are. Cool. I've been really craving like some Left 4 Dead lately. I mean, I don't know why, but it seems like it'd be so much fun to go back. And it's weird, like, I've never really played Left 4 Dead 2 that much, and I have it on PC. I should really just sit down and, like, play Left 4 Dead. Yeah. Sorry if this is loud. Like, it seems like it'd be a lot of fun to go back and play games like this. Like, I'm in a very nostalgic zombie mood lately because of Dead Rising. Yeah, Dead Rising was so much fun when it was a new game. Like, just actually playing this stuff for the first time. It's great. Anything new? See, in my mind, I must have had this so much bigger. Like, I thought it was a whole day, a full 2 hours. I remember that guy flagging me down constantly. But really, I think the only one left... There's one bike part left. And I don't know where it is. I know there's one where I can go save that dude's daughter. I guess she might have it. That seems a little bit too convenient, you know? Like, I can deal with the fact that that one dude just happened to have handlebars to a motorcycle. I can get that because he was like a motocross guy himself. But it'd be a little weird if, like, oh, look, I'm Bob's daughter. I've been defending myself with the other wheel to the motorcycle this whole time. Like, sure. God, does anyone care about, like, the total PP high scores in this game? I know they track that, but I can't imagine anyone does. I think those were hacked in Dead Rising 2. There we go. I was like, you gonna give it to me? It was either Dead Rising 1 or Dead Rising 2, where people would have, like, ridiculous things on the leaderboard. And it was, I don't know, maybe they had it, but if I recall, I thought it was something like, you go on the leaderboard for, like, infinity mode, and there'd be someone on there with, like, 99 days. It's like, yeah, I don't think that's true. You actually lived 99 days in infinity mode, dude. After coming out of playing like Dead Rising 3 and 4, it's so hard to go back to having to use these maintenance benches. Because you really don't ever make anything unless it's right next to a maintenance bench. And that kind of sucks. Now, Dead Rising 3 and 4 have a different problem in that when you can make anything, you only make the best things. So that's true. But I think I prefer that because then you can still make fun weapons. Like, there's a lot of weapons that I wish I could use. Like, simple little things. Like, it's not worth the time to go make the drill bucket helmet. But if I have, like, nothing else to do, if I recall, it's actually one of the best ways to level up based off of killing zombies is to keep putting that on. And you can make, like, 3 of them really easily and just, like, go around, like, bucket, 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 and then just keep them going by putting on more and more zombies. And it's not that bad of a way to farm for PP if you have nothing to do. But, yeah, I don't know. Like, I would make some of the silly weapons in Dead Rising 2 if I had the time. Not Dead Rising 2, Dead Rising 3. And same with Dead Rising 2, there's a lot of weapons that are actually kind of pretty good. Like, I always really like the Wingman one, which is a hidden one you get from Tape It or Die. Not that you need it, you can get it from just doing whatever. You can just make the thing, is that point. But it's like you need a queen and you combine it with nectar. I think that's it. Or even better yet, there's like that, it's something, it's like the teddy bear with a gun or something. And you can put that in a wheelchair. And you can make this whole big contraption thing. But finding the parts, getting them to a bench, using them is just like, it's just not worth the time. Or even better yet, all the bike combinations you can do in 2. But 1, you have to do that one scoop where you fight Leon anyway before you even get access to it. And then you like need to who's talking? Then you need to actually like bring the parts to it. And none of the parts are anything that's easy because they're all like heavy, if I recall. So it's like you could get a wheelchair to escort a survivor. But since you can't keep your bike around, it's like you need to drag the survivor to there, already have a wheelchair, and then you can do it. It's just not worth it. Or like with a chainsaw, like getting a chainsaw over there, complete pain. I think the only one that's in that area, by the way, is over in the concert venue part. And just like walking a chainsaw up there just so you can have some fun running around with the bike. It's just not worth it. Which is too bad. Actually, I do wish the motorcycle played like a bigger part in Dead Rising 2. Like, I really like the idea if you did something like this, where over the course of Dead Rising 2, you could just find stuff to upgrade your motorcycle. And then your motorcycle was... You could just, let's say, drive it off the roof of the safe house into the park equivalent, Silver Strip Mall, so that you could get to it really quickly. And running around with the motorcycle was a big part of the game. Because it really isn't at the moment. I don't know where this last part is. It's got to be a quest with this dude's daughter. Which I don't know how he doesn't see his daughter when it's such a tiny town. Although, to be fair, like... I do wonder, in most cases in Dead Rising, like, where are all the survivors? Is that for me, or are you just celebrating? Okay, cool, dude. For the most part, right, they just kind of don't exist till they're needed. So now we wait. Sorry for this. I thought it was going to keep me busier. I think what I did is I tried to do a run-through where I did everything in one go, kind of like I did with Dead Rising 1 and 2. And I think a lot of time is taken up going and doing... You have to build everything in one go. You have to kill 1,000 zombies. You have to unlock every door. I was hoping they'd, like... I don't know, like, swing back and forth really quickly if I hit them. One thing I'm guilty of in Dead Rising, all of them, is I never look up. I feel like there's a lot of good details, like, when you actually look up. Like, I've never noticed that before. Like, that's such a cool little detail. I just imagine stuff like Chuck would get up to, or like particularly Frank. I feel like Frank's more of that character. Like over the course of 3 days, where I could see him going up with like a 24 pack of beers to the roof, and just like I'm just gonna like chuck these off the roof to hit a zombie. You know, just like dumb little things. I've done that in game where it's like I'm just waiting around for something to happen, so I'll just do something gimmicky like that. Oh, it's 7 p.m. Oh, of course, of course. Forgot this. The very convenient clock. I think the idea is supposed to be that they actually do that at sundown, but they showed the clock because obviously mechanically you need something. Oh, I need to give zombie breakfast. Did I just miss something? Is this the end of the game? I don't think so. I'm pretty sure there's more to this. I hope, because otherwise I'm going to be in a bad spot right here. I'm not liking that everyone's gone. Though she might just be gone because I got her gems. Oh, damn it. That's right. This is like a non-combat zone, so I can't really break that trash. Is this what I'm thinking? Okay, we're good. So I'm going to heal up, and I'm going to go save. Let's ditch this queen. I wonder if so, like, Katie just, like, eat a queen. Would that, like, stave off the infection? Maybe I'm wrong. Maybe it's, like, a fake out. Like, and then you have more. That's a big thing. That right there. That they don't talk about. So her mom got infected. And then her mom bit Katie. Oh, it is this.
Sorry if this is your place. We just needed to get some supplies.
Well, all right. A little perfect to complete my collection.
What the hell are you talking about? You stay away from her.
Zombies are good hunting, son. Kind of like shooting people, but without all the legal hassle. This brings me to pile of fun. I never liked my fella next door, anywho.
Hey, whoa, listen. She's not a zombie. She's just a little girl.
Oh, I see you give it that shot. She's a zombie, all right. Come on now. Step aside and let old Jed finish the job.
Run!
No call for that now. You know it's just a matter of time. So I'm just doing you a favor. Better now than later.
That's actually a weapon you can make, if I recall. Right? Where you like stab him. A zombie and pick it up and shoot it.
You're not gonna hurt her.
So he's actually really tough. Because I'm like level 2.
Enough of you, zombie lover. Get out of my way.
And there's like no food around here. So that's what I was kind of trying to avoid. But I think the last thing I get from him, like I think the thing on his back is like the last part that I was thinking of. But then I think the military comes and I have to save the last person. Let's see, can I snipe? I don't recall if that's a weak point or not, but this is why having that sniper rifle is a big deal. Man, he's not as bad, but I probably because I prepped. Like, if you don't know this is coming, it's a real... Ah, damn it. It's really annoying, to say the least. Because, like, there's no food here. There's no good weapons. He's got that shotgun, so he's better in close range than you are. It has, actually, one thing I really like about Dead Rising 2, where it lets you have food all over, so you can heal up, but it's... Hope that hurt him. I don't have dodge. But it's all like alcohol, like whiskey and stuff. So while there is food for you to get, it's not ideal. I don't know if I can actually out DPS him. I might be able to. Having 2 guns here was a big deal. Like, I think the first time I fought him, it was so tough because you'd run around and you'd have to like try to kill him with a 2x4, and you're fighting a dude with a shotgun with a 2x4. And the only food is like some whiskey around. And you can't leave the area without failing.
Might have saved her for a while. But someone will get your little zombie sooner or later. Be sure of that. It's just a matter of time. If I can't do it, the government will.
Graphic.
Katie? Don't you worry, honey. Daddy won't let anyone ever take you away. Not for any reason. Never.
So that was Jeb. Psycho only in this game. I guess you really can't have a repeat Psycho, can you? It doesn't work that way. They're dead. It'd be kind of cool if Capcom came out and said what the canon things were. Like, is it canon that Frank and Chuck save every single survivor? 'Cause I feel like they don't mention that stuff just because you don't know. So they can't do any kind of callback. So I'm going to save. Oh. That's what they are. Alright, so I got, I think, one more thing. A quest to save that dude's daughter. So let me get the sniper, and I'm going to go out and do that. Although I think... So there's only one psycho, but the military is going to show up in a little bit. And that goes as you'd expect it. One thing I wanted to talk about that I think is kind of interesting is in Case Zero and Case West, they do a couple little things that I wish they brought into the main game. Like little side things, like you'll notice how this scoop has like multiple objectives to it. You know, the main quest, and it can show like on the HUD like here's all the things you collected. And I can't believe they didn't reuse that in Dead Rising 2. Or in Dead Rising 2 Case West, they have a thing in there where you fight a boss who has multiple health bars, and you never see that again in the series. And I kind of don't like that. Because actually, I always thought that was a better way to do stuff. Like, have a health bar represent so much health. Like, this represents 100 health. So if you want to have someone who's kind of like tankier, like if you look at, say, like Antoine. Antoine's a lot tankier in Dead Rising 2. Or like Snowflake. Versus, I can't think of an example of a weak psycho in Dead Rising 2 off the top of my head. Some of the story ones, probably. Then you can represent that because, oh, this person has 2 or 3 health bars. And then you can obviously see like how fast or something they are. But I really wish they kind of came back. Although I will say when we get to that boss is such a weird character. Boomstick. Yeah, that's it. Like, it kind of comes out of nowhere. But it is what it is. But I just always like that mechanic. Or it just seems like I would love more scoops that are like multi-part like that. Like, I would have loved to have seen that in Dead Rising 1 if Kent gave you a mission like, go take... So I think now he should be flagging me down again. Surely is. So is there a hidden scoop? Because there's a scoop in the bowling alley with 2 women. But I do know, I think there's one that's missable. Where it's like, if you just take too long, he will never give you the scoop whatsoever. Yeah. Because it's like, it's dependent on like how long the fight takes with Jeb. Because if it takes too long, it goes immediately into like the next section. Just wasting time. So yeah, I must have just missed that scoop, or it's just hidden. And I say hidden, but like you don't get it mentioned to you. I need to find that last bike part. If I don't get the best ending, I'm gonna revert. Or not revert. I think I have a good save, so it's not a big deal. This is a fairly short section. Bob short for William? No, that's Robert. But it seems weird. Why is it Uncle Bob's and it's like his hunting store? Or it's Uncle Rob. Whatever. His name doesn't match the store, and that bugs me. It bugged me in Dead Rising 1 as well.
Keep going. Stick close.
I really wish they also just let you like fire this as a normal shotgun. But actually, I really love this weapon. Because what I really like that it lets you do is it lets you have basically a pure upgrade to the shotgun. Because the shotgun in Dead Rising... the shotgun in Dead Rising 2 really is only a one-shot, one-kill weapon. So you kill one zombie with it. Whereas like in Dead Rising 1, you can fire into a crowd and kill several. So in a way, you upgrade by adding the pitchfork. Because you get 30 shots. You know, it's slower, but really you're only killing one. You just give up the ability to use it to fight a psycho. Alright. So, where's the last bike part? Like, I know one of the endings you can get is just not finding the bike part. But if I recall, I thought it was really easy to find all the bike parts. But that was the last scoop. It's gonna bug me if I really just didn't get. I thought Jeb had the last one. I should probably check his body, but I'm gonna run to pawn shop super quickly. I also thought there was a scoop in the movie theater, but I must have been thinking of just the parts. And I also thought that scoops didn't run out because they all just lasted the entire length once they became available. But I guess that's not the case. You got anything? Or I'm trying to think why they even bothered having a Zombrex counter, to be honest. So yeah, no one here. Because they give you the one. I guess you could theoretically not use that one or not go get it if you just want to like mess around, and then you could just buy it so you could continue the game. I don't know why you would do that. Let me go check. It must be there. Or no, wait, no. Am I dumb? I think I'm dumb. I think the last part, honestly. Switch around down. I think I'm dumb. I think the last one is literally just gas. And it's like right here. That thing I blew up. I think it's, yeah. See, like that would be something I'd revert for, look up, and I would just feel so stupid. Because I remember when I blew that up earlier in this run through. I gotta book it. I feel kind of dumb, and I'm just like, wait a minute, isn't it gas? That totally makes sense. I wish it actually listed what the parts were, but it doesn't. I think maybe if you pull it up in a different like detail menu, which I like. I really like that they let you pause the game and look at the scoops. Because even going back and playing Dead Rising 1, I hated that. Like how you have to awkwardly not pause the game, but I thought usually I miss. Not usually. I've only played this game like 4 times. I just missed a scoop, yeah. He must just not call about it. Or maybe I did have to zone out for him to transition. I'm not sure. But there's one in the bowling alley with some chicks. And I think you have to bring them like a margarita or something. Or you have to like kind of... They want something. Like they came to town for like shopping or something. Something where you have to bring an item. There's a lot of that in this game. Where it's like you need to bring this item for this to work. Which I like those scoops. I like how you can like plan a route where even if you know they need a thing, it's like where do I grab that thing along the way? Give me a second. I'm gonna grab some more coffee.
Ain't you a beauty?
So I'm gonna put it right here. See, I think the issue was I was supposed to have fixed the bike earlier. That's what I needed to happen for that last scoop to show up. I think. But I thought Jeb had it, so that's why I wasn't doing it. I'm kind of wish that you could get clues for all 5 parts, though. Just because I like the idea, though, that he was like, hey, I can't find gasoline. It's like, well, I'll tell you where it is for $10,000. You pay him. It's at the gas station. So this is a really cool part of the game. Nothing like any other Dead Rising game right here. Maybe, I don't know. It's like this lone little overtime mode. I'm trying to think. I don't think there's anything like it. I guess this is the same kind of section as when you're chasing TK's train in Dead Rising 2. I think that's where this actually comes from, this part. It's just like a neat little part. So you just have to get like out of town without dying. I don't know. I just really like this because it felt like it really broke the bounds. Like, I always thought, like, you know, it'd be kind of fun if they just had a Dead Rising game that was just level based. Like, you weren't running around the same area all the time. Like, generally speaking, that's what Dead Rising is. But it'd be kind of cool if they did something like this, which is like a one-off. Like, you saw, I basically just went off the map to somewhere you can't normally go. Yeah. I think there's an achievement for, like, getting, like, 10 soldiers. And it's a short section. I really like that. I thought it was cool. I was totally into it when I first saw it. I was like, yeah, because you go to a new section, it's like a whole racetrack. It's cool. That's a great looking jacket. It really is.
Honey, listen to me. We made it this far. I will not stop until you're safe. Nothing is more important than that. You understand? Let's get going.
And that's Case Zero. Good game. I just like how like little bite-sized it is. And biggest room and my mic's on. Oh, I got a skill move. Wonderful. So I'll save. And if you're playing this on the 360, you could import this save over. It only gets you to like level 5, even if you grind it. But this came out before Dead Rising 2 officially did. So I'm sure it mattered more at the time. And it was a cool kind of gimmick. I do feel like it should have been a free demo or like really cheap. Like, I don't think it was much more than $5, if anything. But still, I feel like it would have been a really good demo. It's a very solid game. Like, honestly, I would say it's a game. You could play that for a good amount of time. Because like, there's a good amount to do it. It has achievements. That's cool. It's just this neat little Dead Rising minigame. I don't know how to describe it other than that. Blue Castle Games. That was it. That was the name of that. And I feel like it's just something that will be kind of lost to history because it's only on the 360. And you can buy it. I mean, you might have to have 360 to buy it, but you can emulate it on the Xbox One. Or backwards compatibility. So, let's see. Can I... There you go. Yeah, new game. I'm going to play it from level 1, because that's just how I do. But yeah, I don't have that much to say about Case Zero. It just, I feel like it's pretty good, but I feel like it's lost into time because it's one of those weird things that Dead Rising franchise did. Like the movies, you know, or Off the Record. But I think going forward, like 10 years from now, no one's going to remember Off the Record or Case Zero or Case West. But they're just as good, honestly, as some of the other ones. The main entries, I should say. I want to watch this intro cutscene because I haven't for so long, especially after coming out of K0. But for the most part, I'm probably going to be skipping the cutscenes in this game just to get it moving, because these add a lot of time, and I'd like to get through this game today. And then tentatively, I'll do either chop to you drop or off the record, depending on what people want to see. Because I feel like chop to drop's more interesting.
You're on in 2 minutes, Mr. Green. My name's Chuck. Yeah. Look, I need you to sign this release form before you go out there. Oh, and don't forget to include your next of kin. Her name is Katie. Can you take her somewhere safe? I'll take her to the green room. Go with the nice man, Katie. Don't worry. I won't be long.
One thing that is kind of unfortunate is so there were unlocks you can get from K0 that aren't in Dead Rising 2 unless you've played K0, and now there's just no way to get them. Man, I haven't seen that part of this cutscene for a long time. I wish the game had a better way to convey some knowledge about it to yourself. Like, there's a lot of stuff I knew going into Dead Rising 2 from just advertisements and stuff, but I feel like that gets lost to time because the game itself doesn't tell you, like, how Katie got bitten or what Chuck's background is.
Lost your wife in Vegas. I guess you suck at killing zombies, otherwise she'd still be around. Save it for the show, shithead.
Zombies took our Willie. They took our Las Vegas. But tonight, America, we're going to get a little payback. And now, it's time for America's most dangerous game show. It's time for Terror is Reality. And here's your host, Carol King.
I'm confused. Which Terror reality is it? I thought it was 6. But wasn't that like 17 on the icon, on the screen?
Because tonight, we're gonna give it to you. I've been poking these zombies all week, and man, are they pissed.
Yeah. It's like 17, but I thought it said 6 on Chuck's bike.
Ready? Let's send them a little message. You gotta be willing to risk it all if you're ever really gonna.
I'm actually thoroughly enjoying this right now. I'm just like watching this cutscene. I'm all into this right now. So I think I talked about this. I feel like I just streamed Dead Rising 2 for some reason. But yeah, the secret to this is just take it really slow. And then just drive through the zombies. Like, they lay this arena out in such a way where you want to go do like flips and stuff to turn around, but really against the AI, they're not that good. You don't need to do that stuff. So I usually just like slowly drive. If you want to, you can like hold down the other trigger to turn around quicker. It's really not necessary, but if you want to, you can do that. These are all things where it's like when you actually play this game online, which is very hard to do now, you have to be good and you'll hit the other players way more because they know to go for balloons. But you can just drive around like this and you just decimate everyone in points. And I do want to do this because like it's actually kind of a thing where if you win this match, you start the game with an extra $10,000 as your prize money. And Chuck's doing this to get money to buy Zombrex for Katie. That's the canon reason why this is happening. Look at that. I have like twice the score. But I do need that money. Like, generally, I don't collect money much in this game because you don't really need it for anything. The one exception is you need $100,000 before the poker scoop. I will say now, I will do the poker scoop because I feel like that's important. I do not intend to do the ante-up scoop where you just play poker for like a whole day and all you get is like the Knight's helmet. I did include that in like the master run thing I did of this, and man, dude, that takes forever. And it really is just you playing poker. It's a weird part of the game. I actually thought that for sure there was going to be a reveal that those two were not twins, clones. They are twins. Like I felt they kept hinting at that, and then that was going to be how they get zombies. And then that actually does happen, but not till Dead Rising 4 that's canon. I think that's something that no one ever really talked about, that they clone people to make zombies in Dead Rising 4. Like, that's a thing that happens. Dead Rising 4 really is like a completely different game. I guess, though, it looks more like Dead Rising 3, though. Oh, it wasn't... I see. That was his number on the bike, not the number of the show. I always thought, like, how much it would suck. Like, in a way, I can kind of see their points. Like, how much would it suck if in Dead Rising 5, let's say, they discover a cure? Also, by the way, those two people, if you leave the Dead Rising 2 menu just running, it plays an ad for Fortune City, and those are the two people in it. It's just a thing. See, this bugs me. They should have made, first of all, this blue guy should be the other co-op character. Player 1 should be Chuck. Player 2 should be that guy. It makes total sense. He's functionally identical to Chuck. He can drive a motorcycle, all that. Also, he has a background with Wilmette. Also, if you look his name up, he should actually be related to someone in Wilmette. They should have been like, his father was this dude you save, or you don't save. Like, make his father be, or uncle be like Ed DeLuca, the helicopter pilot. So it's canon that that person dies for sure. But then you're like, oh yeah, I want that to line up. Part of me just really wants that to line up. Oh my god, this is so much smoother than Dead Rising 1. But also immediately faster. You can see, though, that the Case Zero stuff did not import. I'm level 1. Yes, thank you. I'm going to try not to do this, but inevitably there's going to be the one thing that happens in every Dead Rising 2 run I do where there's going to be a prompt to go through some tutorial missions with the timer, and instead of hitting B to close it, you have to hit left on the D-pad to pull up the watch. And if you keep hitting B, it keeps looking like it's progressing to menus, but it's actually just flopping between two. Inevitably, I spend like 10 to 15 seconds not realizing what's happening. So that's probably going to happen. Fine, Katie. Tom is dead. By the way, you can't save anyone here. Like, there are ways to, quote-unquote, save people where you can get them to just not die. But you can't get them to, like, the safe room or anything. The game doesn't work that way. But it is possible if you grab some stuff quick enough to, like, throw something to a zombie to, like, stop an animation. That is possible. If I recall, this, time does not pass in this section. So you can take as long as you want. Okay, he just watches me kill Irwin. That'd be great. I think the zombie was supposed to come in after him. I think I broke that when I kicked him. You can do... There's things you can do in this section. Like, you can break these ATMs up here if you really want to. With your feet. You don't get anything out of it. Like, right here, you can technically save these people. Quote-unquote save. But since they won't come with you, it's completely unnecessary. And you can't drop Katie, I don't think. So, yeah. So it's not like you can even, like, pick anything up. God, They made it look like I can throw Katie for a second. I was like, that would be surprising. But yeah, I've never found any particular use for that section. Part of me wants to believe there is. Like, if this game had, I guess it does have a zombie genocider or zombie genocide-esque achievement. I've just never done it. But I like the idea of, like, if in theory you want to do a run to prove you could do every achievement in one go, you could grind out zombie genocide there. In theory, right? I see that's that couple that gets interviewed in that section again. I like this cutscene. There's a lot of things that happen. I feel like the people who make Dead Rising do pay a lot of attention to detail. So stuff like that guy who had like let his wife and or girlfriend die, he'll like be talking about it later and just like little things like that. And I think you can talk to him and he mentions it. But if you're just watching, you're just like, oh yeah, it's just chaos. That's what it represents. I like when games do that. Or I always like that they, if something changes in a cutscene. So like in Dead Rising 1, when you first encounter Jesse in the warehouse, Frank grabs like the fire extinguisher. And it's just missing after that. Like I like that they change those little details. Or if something gets like tossed to the side in a cutscene, it'll be there in the next shot and you can pick it up. I really like that stuff. And so this is a question I have for chat. I guess first of all, I haven't mentioned it, but I stream this on YouTube and on Twitch, so you can watch it on either. If you're on YouTube, I believe I have the schedule for the weekend down below. I'm playing through all the Dead Rising games, just finished up Case Zero. But this is a question for chat. Would you play a Dead Rising game that's just like general levels? Like this is level 1, you're in this area, get to the end. Maybe like the way I think of it is each level would be one day. And it might take place at different locations and times. But for the most part, it's like you play one day in this location. I don't know, I just think it'd be interesting. Or even just like get from point A to point B, that's the level. It's not really a time-based thing at all. Or that maybe you have unlimited time, but mix it together with some other mechanic. So like you can take as long as you want to complete the level, but you still have to get Zombrex to Katie every day, right? So if you would take 3 days, you can do that, but there's a finite supply of Zombrex. That kind of thing.
Whoa, hold on a second, son. Listen, it's an existing condition, right? It's okay, it happened a long time ago. Only a matter of time before she turns. Hey, don't worry. I've got Zombrex. Yeah, well, you better have a lot. Yeah, well, you better have a lot. Because there ain't none here, and the rescue ain't coming for 3 days. Yeah, the reserves will already be mobilizing. But their first priority is to quarantine the city, and that takes time. They'll enter the city at first light 3 days from now. That's the standard procedure. So we're stuck here.
This is a really good cutscene. I haven't watched this in a long time.
Why don't you take her in there?
Because like I might watch the ones during the actual game itself, but it's very rare I watch these early ones. That was a really good job by the dude who played Sullivan there. They show her butt a lot. That's a thing. I don't know why. But they did that same shot on the news. They do the same shot when they do the same shot when she's looking at cameras. Also, I haven't talked about this in a long time, but I think it's like some kind of running joke that Chuck can like just never have a cup of coffee because if you like play all the cutscenes, there's a lot of cutscenes where he's about to take a sip of coffee. And then it kind of comes all the way back at the end of this game when you're in like the underground part with the they're sucking up the queens. He like kills the dude, like these two scientists, and he's like, "Yeah, fine coffee. Thanks for the coffee." And I didn't know if like there was some animator that had this weird like B plot line of the coffee, and that was just a thing. But it's something having played this game a lot, I feel like I noticed. I feel like I haven't really played Dead Rising 2 in so long. Like, gone through the whole story again and watched this. She doesn't care. She's been through this before. I gotta say, I actually do like Chuck as a character. I feel like he's more relatable. But it's a weird line because I think Frank, I think Frank is a better fit for the game because I think the Frank was designed in such a way where you kind of don't like him, or he's like you like to hate him because he's kind of sleazy, you know, being the reporter that just like shows up against all odds and really shouldn't be there and isn't allowed there. He's kind of a dick if you watch the cutscenes. Whereas I think Frank's just nah. It's a good character. It's like exactly what the game needs. But as a person, he's not as relatable. But I think Chuck, I really like him a little bit more. Although I will say Chuck is also kind of like a dick, and doesn't need to be. That's a good shot. I don't know why that even exists. Like, why does that opening exist? Like, it's like they intended it. Like, I don't think they did. Like, I don't think they purposely built something to look like a vent in to it. Unless, like, part of me wants to believe that that worked so well for, you know, Frank West that they purposely built it in like that because they know the zombies couldn't figure it out. All right, so immediately, the start of Dead Rising 2, at least the way I run it, is actually really interesting. Because the very first thing we're going to do is we are going to go kill Snowflake. Not kill Snowflake, tame Snowflake. Very important. And that's something that is very tough for a lot of people, but I have a strategy for it. And I actually have a guide on how to tame Snowflake, quote-unquote, properly and consistently. And it always bugged me, like, I never got much traction on that video because it kind of came out way too late. Like, by the time I had the ability to record stuff like that and sat down and made a guide, Dead Rising 4, I think, had been out by that point. No, Dead Rising 3 was out, at least, for sure. So it was never really that relevant. But then it also never got enough traction to, like, rise up in the rankings. So I feel bad, always, that it's actually kind of low on the list, despite being, I guarantee you, the best guide to doing that on YouTube. Like, every other guy on YouTube is like, oh, I'm just going to throw down the steak here, and it just works. It's so easy. And then you go and do it, and it doesn't. Or, oh, look, something glitched out in Snowflake. She ate the steak twice, so just do that, and that works. And it's just like, that's not how it works. You can't do that consistently. Whereas mine, I can actually explain why it works and how it works, and I'll do that when we go tamer. So, I talked about this before. This is a hidden sniper rifle. We need that, and we need the steak. Which the fact that it's there makes it seem like this was 100% intended. So we're going to fall down. Probably take some fall damage. Dodge that very carefully. Oop, come on. I might die. That would be a terrible start to this run. Okay, we need this. I can't jump off because of the fall damage. Is there food in here, maybe? Perfect. So if you don't know how Snowflake works, first of all, Snowflake's a tiger. We're going to go tame her. And there's a couple reasons for that. One, first of all, she's the only other scoop that's active right now. So we can go there. She's all the way in the very north of the map in like Yucatan Casino. So it's a little bit of a walk, but it's like now's the best time to do it because then you don't get stuck in the fight when you come through it later. Also, it's a huge bonus to your starting PP because she counts as a survivor. Plus, there's another survivor with her you can get called Lenny, who I think, hey man, what's up? See you in chat. So we need that. Also, she counts as a gift for Katie, so that's another 10,000 PP you can get for giving her to Katie. So it's just like, also it's like it's a risky thing, so it just seems it's like perfect to go tackle this right now. Plus, it's like the one bragging thing I have where it's like, oh, I start off the run and level 1, I just do this. But I can turn it up. Thank you. Thank you for calling out. So, by the way, I have Twitch chat open and YouTube. If it's low, I can do that. tell me if the stream's low, because I adjusted separately. And Dead Rising 1, I think, was the issue, because Dead Rising 1 is way louder than Dead Rising 2. But I kept it low because I assumed Dead Rising 2 was going to be loud because of all, like, the casino sound effects. So I'm going to pop it up here quickly. Or I wonder. Oh. So it should be a little bit louder now. So tell me in chat. Yeah. I think the issue is, like, not that Dead Rising 1 is innately loud. It's just the sound spikes way more. Like, you'll be quietly running around the mall, and then a zombie will come in and growl, and it's just super loud. So yeah, tell me if that's not right. Or if, like, I keep needing to adjust it. Because I'm just playing it over my TV, and I actually have it fairly low, so it shouldn't be coming through on the mic. Come on. Okay, did you really need to whack me there? But yeah, tell me how that sound is. It should be better, but I might have to turn it up some more. Okay. I also, ideally, I need to pick up some kind of, let's call them like charging helmet. So if you watch the DR1 playthrough I did, a big deal about Dead Rising 1 at a low level, because I am doing these from level 1, is the skateboard. Because just how much time it takes to run around in these games is a big deal. And there is a skateboard in Dead Rising 2, but it's extremely difficult to control. But instead you have like these charging helmets. You also have the moose helmet where you can just hold this down. And covering a large amount of distance with these is a big secret to doing that. It's like getting through this game well. OP, I can never control the skateboard in Dead Rising 2. I always constantly hit stuff because they changed it from like a simple like left to right control like you have in Dead Rising 1 to it's like more like a tank. I don't know.